Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Legends, a strategy card game featuring creatures, characters, and lore from across the history of the Elder Scrolls. Each battle begins with a hand of 3 cards. When it's your turn, you draw 1 card and gain 1 magicka, needed to play your cards. Place a card on one of 2 sides, called lanes. Some lanes have special conditions that alter the field of battle. Choose to attack a card in the same lane, or attack your opponent directly. You win when your opponent is out of health. Take enough damage and one of your runes will shatter. Each time this happens, you will immediately draw a card that could change your fortunes. Your choices and a little luck can tip the scales from defeat to victory. Battle anytime or anywhere, on your own or against other players. Test your might in a full campaign, in quick skirmishes, or in the arena where you'll face a gauntlet of foes. Build your collection of allies, armaments, and magic. Combine your cards to create powerful decks. Train your cards to increase their power. Choose your strategy. Choose your path. Choose your destiny. And become a legend.
Hello friends, welcome back here at Twitch to PAX East. I'm Anna Prosser-Robinson, thrilled to be joining you this morning. And as you just saw, we're here to talk about Elder Scrolls Legends. We've got our new friend Pete here. Pete, how's it going this morning?
Good to see you guys again. How are you?
Yes.
Good.
Nice to see you. Good morning.
Morning.
And I'm joined by Pancake Pow,
Hi, guys.
my fellow host here on the Twitch stage.
Yes.
And we just saw kind of an explanation of what is Elder Scrolls Legends. But if you had to summarize that for us, Pete, what would you say? What is this game?
Well, obviously, most folks should know what the Elder Scrolls is. It's been around for over 2 decades. It's this well-known, award-winning role-playing game, and we've been working with the folks at Direwolf Digital, who are very well known for making strategy card games, and we wanted to take kind of all of the lore and cool stuff from the Elder Scrolls and bring it to a really cool, fun, accessible strategy card game. So whether you know the Elder Scrolls or not, or whether you're into strategy card games or not, it's kind of designed for anybody to be able to approach it and have fun.
So when you say anyone to approach it, what accounts for that approachability? What makes this game so approachable?
So we have a full campaign in the game, a full story campaign that you play through, and so all of the battles that you have are themed around different things that are happening in the story, so that it's part tutorial, part kind of story, meeting
driven,
folks
yeah.
and unlocking new cards to add to your collection or new decks to add to your collection. But then, yeah, you get set off into the world and you can kind of play it however you want. You can build whatever kind of decks you want, or you saw we talked about Arena, which is basically building a deck on the fly. We give you a couple of cards to choose from. You pick the one that you want, and we keep offering those suggestions to you, and then you can play against other players, or you can play against the AI. So if you feel like, I'm still learning and I'm not really good at the game, you can just play against some AI opponents where maybe you don't feel as much pressure. When you play against the AI, there's no time for your turns, so you can take as long as you want to kind of figure out what you want to do and how you want to play. I mean, I've been playing it for 2 years, and I'm still having a blast and learning a lot about the game, so we feel like, folks that today have been having a chance to play it, they seem to pick it up pretty quickly, but there's, a ton of strategic depth as well.
Yeah, well, we do have some gameplay here. I know you're going to kind of tell us a little bit about the game mechanics as we go into a match, right?
Yeah, so as you can see, we're starting off a match. In our game, Magicka is what you use to cast your cards. And one of the cool things about our game is that it's split into 2 lanes. So rather than every card going onto a battlefield that every other card can interact with, you make a choice about which lane that you want to play a card into. And the reason for that is there's a lot of games where somebody plays out one crazy good card and you really can't play anything out because that card's just going to kill it. Well, now if they play that crazy good card, it may be in the lane that's on the right, you can start to play all your cards on the left and avoid it, or wait till you have some way of dealing with it. So it avoids this phenomenon of one card hits the battlefield and just completely dominates the game where you can't deal with it. The lane mechanic kind of allows you to move around that, and then there's also the ability to have conditions for each lane. So what you're seeing here in this match is the standard lane conditions, which is the left one doesn't have one. It's a no rules lane. The right lane is what's called a shadow lane, which means any card that you play there can't be attacked by any creatures until your next turn. So you sort of have a safe zone where you can play something and your opponent might be able to cast a spell that destroys it or does damage to it, but none of the creatures in that lane that your opponent controls are going to be able to attack it. So you have a little bit of time to be able to put some stuff out without worrying about it being destroyed right away. And again, it's the interesting mechanic of, do I want to play my creatures over in this lane where maybe it's safe for a little bit, or do I want to get over in this other lane because I want to deal with or interact with what my opponent's doing. And then this is a direct damage, direct attack game. So you can see when you go to attack, you have the ability to attack either your opponent's cards, like I have to here because I've got to deal with this guard card that has to be attacked first, or you can deal damage directly to the opponent. And you both start at 30 life, but you notice the little blue runes, the little gems that go around. Those are set every 5 points of health. So every time you take 5 damage, you're going to break one of those runes and you're going to get to draw a card. So the idea is, once again, in a lot of games, one person gets ahead and they stay ahead and the other person just has no ability to catch up. You're just sort of getting kicked around and you're basically almost there watching while this other person kills you. When you start doing enough damage to the opponent, they're going to get to draw cards that may allow them to get back into the game. If you're taking a bunch of damage, you're going to start to draw cards that are going to allow you to figure out, how do I get back into this game? How do I, slow my opponent down? One of the ways that you do that is, you'll notice some of these cards have the word prophecy written on them. And what that means is, when a card with prophecy is on the top of your deck, if a rune gets destroyed, you draw that card, you get to play it for free on your opponent's turn. So you're getting to play free creatures, you're getting to play free spells that, once again, are going to help you get some more stuff on the board to catch up, or maybe deal damage to a thing that lets you get rid of it right away. So it's another mechanic. We were talking about different levels of difficulty. The folks who are really good at these things are going to figure out all kinds of interesting ways to play with these and take advantage of them. But folks who don't know what they're doing, it's almost designed to say, we're going to help you out as you're getting beat up or losing life, to stay in the game and to kind of have a chance to win. And it's one of those things that, even you're at 30 life and she's at 4, that the match isn't over because you have the ability to play a bunch of extra cards you've gotten to stabilize. And it's been a lot of fun over in the booth watching folks who are just like, oh, I think I'm dead here. And like, no, like, you're down by 25 life, but you can actually win if you do this and do this in these great swingy games where it's never really over until it's over. I think folks have really enjoyed and embraced that concept.
So it's about not getting disheartened.
Yeah, exactly. It's about the basic mechanics of it. Like, I drag a card, I drop it in a lane. If I want to attack something, I attack it. Like, it's pretty easy to sort of grasp and understand, but then you figure out all of these interactions and ways to take advantage of the different decks that you can build.
I was going to just interrupt you. I really like that you decided to do a campaign along with this, because that's really going to familiarize the people who've been playing the franchise for that long. How long is the campaign? Because let's say I just want to get started and I'm like antsy and I just want to go in there. Is it lengthy?
It's a couple hours long. Yeah, you get a pretty healthy dose of matches to play, and all along the way you're unlocking rewards. And then again, you get some really cool scenarios that get thrown at you. So for example, in one of them, your band of adventurers that you're sort of gathering up and moving through this campaign with get jumped by the side of the road by a bunch of wolves. And you have this really interesting match where both of the lanes are shadow lanes, so it's like the wolves are coming out of the mist, and it's kind of tough to deal with them. And then one of the things, if you know the Elder Scrolls, which I know you guys do, a big thing for us is player choice, right? You getting to kind of decide who you want to be and how you want to play. So at the end of that match, the story continues, and they're talking about, after the battle and they finished off the wolves, they found a wolf pup. And they ask, well, what did you decide to do with the wolf pup? And a choice pops up, and it tells you that you can either choose to kill the wolf pup, and you unlock a certain card. I know, it's horrifying. Nobody wants to kill the wolf pup. Or you can spare the wolf pup, and you get a different card to add to your deck. Now, either of those cards you can get in packs or find in other ways, but as you're playing through, you get to make a choice as part of the story about what did you do, and then you're adding that card to your deck that does, both of them do something very, very different. Again, allowing the player to kind of decide as they're playing through this campaign what kind of cards are of interest to them. Even simple stuff like you notice the avatars for both players. We have avatars for all 10 races in the game. And the avatars in our game don't have powers. We don't do like hero powers. But what they do is, based on the race that you pick, you unlock as a reward cards of that type for your decks. Again,
of that like character.
Right. So like if you pick the Argonian, which I always do, you're more likely to unlock Argonian cards as rewards at a certain point, which have a certain play style. Like they fit in certain kinds of deck. Argonians are usually guys that have like poison tip things. Or they are helping ramp you up into more magicka so you can cast bigger things more quickly. Like stealthy, sneaky, Argonian-y. And you can change, that's a real word. So you can change even your avatar as you're playing. If you decide you want more to unlock more cards of like the Nords or the Red Guards, that you change your avatar and you start unlocking those cards. So it's again another way for folks to inject their own choices into the game, how they're playing it, the kind of rewards that they're unlocking, what kind of decks they want to put together and play. So reaction so far has been great. I mean, we've been beta for a couple of days, but it's been great to have more folks get in the game and finally be able to talk about it.
One last question, because I know we're almost out of time, but you mentioned player choice. How persistent is my deck that I build? Is that with me throughout the game?
Well, so what persists with you is your collection. So the cards that you unlock, you always have. Your deck is really, you can constantly change it. So you might create a deck that's green and blue. You could have 3 different green-blue decks that are using different green and blue cards in different ways. You can have a ton of decks in the game, but really what persists with you is the collection that you're adding cards to, and then the decks are created out of that collection.
And I use that in Arena as well?
In Arena, you pick which class you want to draft as, and then we give you cards in those colors, and then you're picking them on the fly. So you don't own them, and you don't keep them.
The campaign is more geared towards that, or the mode.
The mode is geared towards that. The campaign is about adding cards to your collection that you're going to keep forever and ever, and then use those in what we call battle mode, which is playing against other people.
Awesome. Well, like I said, not too much more time, but where can people find out more and get their hands on your game?
You can. Folks are going to be playing it here, obviously, but if you're not at PAX, you want to go to legends.bethesda.net, sign up for beta. We're letting folks in all the time. It's still a closed beta, so it's under NDA, but hopefully you get picked and come in and start to play the game for yourself and help us make it better.
Cool. And what platforms can we play on?
Currently announced for PC and iPad, and we'll see if we might be able to do it for other platforms as well.
Ooh, awesome. So good to hear. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having us.
And guys, we will be bringing you more game news and insider looks right after this on Twitch.